It is a conversation cloaked in silence, a natural human function that has been relegated to the shadows of private speculation and public shame. But what if understanding the biology of this act holds one of the most profound keys to men's health, particularly as they navigate their senior years? What if within this misunderstood topic lies a powerful protective mechanism for the prostate gland? Most men will dismiss this conversation, but 99% will miss the critical connection between this natural process and the body's innate defense systems. What you are about to learn is not indecent, it is essential. This is not about morality, it's about your biology and the incredible ways your body is designed to protect you. And you must not miss the final part, because it is there that the myths are dispelled and the truth about your health is made clear. Prostate fundamentals? To understand how any lifestyle factor influences our health, we must first go back to the source. We must understand the biology of the organ itself. The prostate is a small gland, about the size of a walnut, that is part of the male reproductive system. Its primary and most well-known job is to produce the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. This prostatic fluid makes up a significant portion of semen. While its function is tied to reproduction, its health is intrinsically linked to a man's overall well-being and quality of life, especially as he ages. Its location, sitting just below the bladder and in front of the rectum, is precisely why its health is so critical to urinary and sexual function. As men age, the prostate undergoes natural changes. For many, this results in a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. This is a non-cancerous enlargement of the prostate gland. As the gland grows, it can begin to squeeze the urethra, the tube through which urine passes, leading to a host of frustrating and disruptive urinary symptoms like a frequent urge to urinate, a weak stream, and difficulty emptying the bladder. It's crucial to understand that BPH is not prostate cancer and does not, on its own, increase the risk for it, but it does highlight the vulnerability of this small, powerful gland to age-related changes. Another common issue is prostatitis, which is simply the inflammation of the prostate gland. This can be caused by a bacterial infection, but often it's a chronic condition with no clear infectious cause. Chronic prostatitis, also known as chronic pelvic pain syndrome, can be a debilitating condition that significantly impacts a man's quality of life. The inflammation itself is a sign that one of the body's core health defense systems, in this case the immune system, is dysregulated. It's in a state of chronic low-grade alert, creating a damaging internal environment. This inflammatory state is a common thread that runs through many prostate-related health challenges. Then there is prostate cancer, which is the most serious of these conditions. It occurs when cells in the prostate gland begin to grow out of control. Our bodies are designed with a brilliant system of DNA protection. Every day, our cells replicate, and our DNA proofreads itself to correct errors. When this DNA protection system is weakened or overwhelmed, errors can slip through. This can lead to mutations that allow cells to ignore the normal signals to stop growing, forming a tumor. The health of our blood vessels, part of our angiogenesis defense system, also plays a key role, as a tumor cannot grow without a private blood supply to feed it. A healthy angiogenesis system prevents tumors from getting the nourishment they need. Understanding these conditions is not about creating fear, it's about creating a foundation of knowledge. When we see these issues not as random misfortunes but as consequences of imbalances in our body's own defense systems, we gain a new perspective. BPH, inflammation, and even the risk of cancer are all related to the intricate cellular environment within the prostate gland. This environment is not static. It is dynamically influenced by our diet, our level of physical activity, our hormonal balance, and, as emerging science is beginning to show, by the fundamental biological functions of the gland itself. So the central question we must ask is this: what lifestyle factors can we adopt to support the healthy function of the prostate and bolster the defense systems that protect it? We know from extensive research that a diet rich in certain plant-based foods, like tomatoes with their powerful lycopene, or cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, can have a powerfully protective effect. We know that maintaining a healthy weight and engaging in regular physical activity are cornerstones of reducing risk. But we must also be willing to look at the full picture of male physiology, including the act of ejaculation, and ask how this natural process fits into the grand puzzle of long-term prostate health. This requires us to step away from cultural taboos and look purely at the science. The prostate's very purpose is to produce and secrete fluid. Therefore, it is logical to investigate whether the regular and healthy execution of this function has implications for the health of the tissue itself. Is it possible that the process of clearing out the gland on a regular basis could have a protective effect, helping to maintain a healthier internal environment? This is not speculation. It is a valid scientific inquiry that is beginning to yield some incredibly interesting and empowering answers for men who want to take a proactive role in their own health as they age. This is about understanding our biology in its entirety. Hormonal balance. To truly grasp the connection between ejaculation and prostate health, we must talk about hormones. Hormones are the body's chemical messengers, and they play a powerful role in regulating the growth and function of cells throughout the body, including the prostate. The primary male sex hormone is testosterone, which is essential for a host of functions. Within the prostate gland itself, testosterone is converted into a more potent form called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. DHT is significantly more powerful than testosterone and is the main hormone that stimulates prostate cells to grow. This is a normal and necessary process, but an imbalance can lead to problems. In the context of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, the overgrowth of prostate tissue is largely driven by the long-term effects of DHT. As men age, the balance between testosterone and other hormones like estrogen can shift, and the prostate gland can become more sensitive to the growth-promoting effects of DHT. This is why some treatments for severe BPH and prostate cancer focus on blocking the production or action of DHT. Understanding this hormonal driver is key to understanding how we might be able to influence prostate health through our own actions and lifestyle choices. It provides a biological target for our efforts. So, how does the act of ejaculation fit into this complex hormonal picture? While the act itself does not cause a massive long-term shift in a man's overall testosterone levels, it does involve a cascade of hormonal and neurological events. The focus here should not be on a single event, but on the effects of regularity over a long period. Some research has explored the prostate stagnation hypothesis. This theory suggests that if prostatic fluid remains in the gland for long periods without being flushed out, it may create an environment that is conducive to problems. Think of it like a stream that flows freely versus a pond that becomes stagnant. This stagnation could theoretically lead to several issues. The retained fluid could become more concentrated with substances that could irritate the prostate tissue, contributing to chronic inflammation. Old senescent cells, cells that have stopped dividing but are not dead, might accumulate. These cells can secrete inflammatory signals that encourage nearby cells to grow or become abnormal. By regularly flushing the ducts of the prostate through ejaculation, it's hypothesized that these potentially harmful substances, metabolic byproducts, and inflammatory agents are cleared out before they have a chance to do damage. This is not just about a simple plumbing or cleansing effect, although that is part of the concept. It is also about the cellular environment. Every time the gland contracts to expel fluid, there is a physical process at play that helps to move secretions along. This can prevent the buildup of tiny calcifications within the prostate, which have been associated with inflammation and are more common in men with prostate problems. It is a process of active maintenance, ensuring the gland is fulfilling its biological function regularly, which may in itself be a signal for healthy cellular turnover and function. When we consider this from the perspective of our body's health defense systems, the connection becomes clearer. By regularly clearing out old prostatic fluid, we are supporting our immune system's work. We are helping it to remove cellular debris efficiently, preventing the buildup that could trigger a chronic inflammatory response, We are also potentially reducing the exposure of the prostate cell's DNA to any harmful compounds or free radicals that might be present in the retained fluid. This helps to fortify our DNA protection system, reducing the chances of mutations that could lead to cancer. It's essential to view this through a lens of balance and moderation. The research does not suggest that more is always better in a linear fashion. Rather, it points to the benefits of consistency and regularity, preventing long periods of stagnation. This is about working with your body's natural design, not against it. The hormonal story of the prostate is one of balance. By understanding the role of DHT and the potential benefits of keeping the glandular environment fresh and clear, we can see how a natural biological function, when viewed scientifically, emerges as a potential ally in maintaining that delicate and crucial balance over a lifetime. It reframes the conversation from one of taboo to one of proactive, intelligent self-care. Inflammation link. If there is a single common denominator that underlies many of the chronic diseases of aging, it is inflammation. We must distinguish between acute inflammation, which is the body's healthy and necessary response to an injury or infection, and chronic inflammation, which is a low-grade, simmering, and destructive fire that can burn for years without our knowledge. This chronic inflammation is a key driver in heart disease, dementia, arthritis, and it plays a profoundly important role in the health of the prostate gland. Both prostatitis and the development and progression of prostate cancer are deeply linked to this smoldering inflammatory process. When the prostate gland is chronically inflamed, the internal environment becomes hostile and unstable. The immune system, which is supposed to be our defender, becomes dysregulated. Instead of clearing out threats and then standing down, it remains in a state of constant low-level activation. Immune cells flood the tissue, releasing a torrent of inflammatory chemicals known as cytokines. These signals can damage healthy prostate cells, harm their DNA, and create an environment that encourages cells to grow uncontrollably. Inflammation essentially creates the fertile soil in which prostate problems can take root and flourish. This is where the connection to ejaculation becomes incredibly compelling, viewed through the lens of our inflammation-taming health defenses. The prostate stagnation hypothesis, which we discussed, is not just about stagnant fluid, but about the inflammatory nature of that fluid. Semen is not just inert liquid. It's a complex biochemical brew. When it remains in the prostate ducts for extended periods, the composition can change. It may accumulate inflammatory proteins, bacterial components, and even specific compounds like insulin-like growth factor, IGF-1, which is known to promote cell growth and is linked to cancer risk. The physical act of ejaculation serves as a regular flushing mechanism, clearing this potentially inflammatory fluid from the gland. Each time this occurs, it's like a tide going out, pulling away the accumulated debris and pro-inflammatory substances. This action may reduce the overall inflammatory load on the prostate tissue. It helps to keep the internal environment cleaner and calmer, which in turn reduces the constant stress on the prostate cells. It gives the tissue a chance to exist in a less hostile environment, reducing the stimulus for both benign growth, BPH, and dangerous cancerous changes. Moreover, think about the life cycle of cells. Cells are not meant to live forever. The body has a natural, orderly process of removing old and potentially damaged cells called apoptosis or programmed cell death. Chronic inflammation can disrupt this healthy process. The act of regularly expelling prostatic fluid may also help to clear out these old senescent cells before they can accumulate and secrete inflammatory signals that cause trouble for their neighbors. It's a fundamental part of the body's maintenance and cleaning cycle. Supporting this cycle is a powerful anti-inflammatory strategy. Let's look at this from another of our health defense systems, the microbiome. While we often think of the microbiome in our gut, research is discovering that other areas of the body, including the urinary tract and even the prostate, may have their own unique microbial communities. An imbalance in this community or the presence of certain types of bacteria can be a source of chronic inflammation. Regularly flushing the prostatic and urinary tracts may help to prevent bacteria from taking hold and establishing the kind of low-grade chronic infection that can fuel prostatitis and create a dangerous environment over the long term. Therefore, when we reframe the question, it's not just is masturbation good or bad? The scientific question is, does regular ejaculation contribute to a lower inflammatory state in the prostate? And the emerging evidence strongly suggests that the answer may be yes. It is a powerful, natural, and cost-free way to support the body's own anti-inflammatory defenses. It works in concert with other powerful anti-inflammatory strategies, most notably a diet rich in foods that cool the fire of inflammation. Foods like green tea, fatty fish, turmeric, and deeply colored berries. By combining these approaches, you are creating a comprehensive, multi-pronged strategy to protect this vital gland. Ejaculation frequency. Once we accept the scientific premise that regular ejaculation may have a protective, anti-inflammatory effect on the prostate, the natural next question is one of frequency. How often is regular? Is there a specific number that the research points to? This is where we must be both optimistic about the data and scientifically cautious in our interpretation. Several large-scale, long-term observational studies have sought to answer this very question, and the results are both fascinating and consistent. One of the most widely cited pieces of research is the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, a massive project from Harvard University that followed tens of thousands of men over many years. The researchers tracked many aspects of the men's lifestyles and health outcomes. When they analyzed the data on ejaculation frequency and the incidence of prostate cancer, they found a striking correlation. Men who reported a higher frequency of ejaculation had a significantly lower risk of being diagnosed with prostate cancer. Specifically, the study found that men who ejaculated 21 or more times per month had a risk of prostate cancer that was about 31% lower compared to men who reported ejaculating only 4 to 7 times per month. This finding was robust and held up even after the researchers adjusted for other lifestyle factors like diet and vasectomy status. This wasn't a small, one-off finding. It was a powerful statistical signal that emerged from a very large and well-conducted study. Other studies from around the world have echoed these findings, showing a similar inverse relationship between ejaculation frequency and prostate cancer risk. Now, it is absolutely critical to use the right language here. What these studies show is a correlation, not a proven causation. A correlation means that two things are observed to happen together. In this case, more frequent ejaculation is observed alongside a lower risk of prostate cancer. It does not definitively prove that the act of ejaculation itself is the direct cause of the lowered risk. There could be other factors involved. For example, men who have a higher libido and are more sexually active might also have other underlying physiological or lifestyle traits that are independently protective. However, the strength and consistency of the correlation, combined with the plausible biological mechanisms we have already discussed, the flushing of inflammatory fluids, the clearance of potential carcinogens, the maintenance of a healthier cellular environment, make a compelling case that this is more than just a coincidence. The evidence strongly suggests that regular ejaculation is a marker and very likely a contributor to better prostate health. It fits perfectly within our understanding of how supporting the body's natural functions can bolster its defense systems. So, what is the practical takeaway from this research? It is certainly not to prescribe a specific number as a magic bullet. Health is never that simple. Instead, the message is one of empowerment and destigmatization. It suggests that a healthy, regular sex life, whether with a partner or alone, is not something to be viewed with shame or as separate from our overall health, but rather as a potential and positive component of a prostate protective lifestyle. The number 21 is not a target to be anxious about, but rather an indicator from a large population study that regularity and consistency are likely beneficial. Most importantly, this lifestyle factor should never be seen as a replacement for the proven cornerstones of men's health and cancer prevention. It is one tool in a much larger toolbox. The foundation of prostate health remains a diet that supports all 5 of your body's defense systems. This means an anti-inflammatory, pro-angiogenic diet filled with foods like cooked tomatoes, soy, pomegranates, green tea, and cruciferous vegetables. It means regular physical activity, which is a powerful way to regulate hormones and reduce inflammation. And critically, it means not ignoring regular medical care. No amount of lifestyle modification can replace the importance of having regular conversations with your doctor and getting the appropriate screenings for your age and risk profile, such as the PSA blood test. This knowledge about ejaculation frequency should be integrated into a holistic and intelligent approach to your well-being. It is a piece of the puzzle, an encouraging and empowering piece that tells us that understanding and working with our body's fundamental biological design is one of the most powerful pathways to a long and healthy life. This is about being informed, not about finding a single cure. By bringing this topic out of the shadows and examining it through the clear, illuminating lens of science, we reclaim our power over our own bodies. We move beyond outdated taboos and into a space of educated self-awareness. Understanding that a natural biological function may contribute positively to your health is not license for any particular behavior, but freedom from the shame that prevents honest conversations about well-being. True health is never found in a single pill or a single act, but in the holistic symphony of our choices. It is woven from the threads of nourishing food, joyful movement, restorative sleep, and a deep, evidence-based understanding of the incredible self-healing vessel that is our body. This is clarity. This is peace. This is the truth that empowers a lifetime of health. This is a subject that so many of us were taught to never discuss openly. After hearing the science, did this change your perspective on your own health in any way? Be honest, which part of this conversation resonated the most?